went down to the river Jordan, where John baptized three.
Segregation was always present in slavery times since 95% of African Americans were slaves, and they were kept in the slave houses away from the master. Segregation started to get bad after Reconstruction ended and legislation was made to get things back to the way they were, whites separated from blacks.
Some say John was a Jew, but I say John was a preacher, cause my Bible says so too. I say roll, Jordan, roll, roll, Jordan, roll.
In 1896, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled the racially separate facilities, if equal, did not violate the Constitution. Segregation, the court said, was not discrimination. Far as I'm concerned, friendship between blacks and whites don't mean that much because it usually ain't on equal basis. Right now, you and Jeremy might get along fine, but in a few years, he'll think of himself as a man, and you'll probably still be a boy to him. And if he feels that way, he'll turn on you in a minute. White is something just like black is something. Everybody born on this earth is something, and nobody, no matter what color, is better than anybody else.
Says Johnny baptized me. I say roll, Jordan, roll. Oh, now roll, Jordan, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year Jordan roll. Well, some say John was a Baptist. Some say John was a Jew.
In the book, they referred to a group of people called nightmen. These are white supremacists who lynch African Americans if they feel they are getting out of hand as a demonstration of power to let other African Americans know if they are acting differently, they will be stopped. These kinds of acts show the different treatment towards African Americans and whites, how in their world they will always be superior than any other person who is a minority.
One day, when the glory comes.
In the book, white people who used to hang out with African Americans would get made fun of. He was often ridiculed by the other children at the school and had shown up more than once with wide red welts on his arms, which Lillian Jean, his older sister, had revealed with satisfaction were the results of his associating with us. Still, Jeremy continued to meet with us.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men.
Legal segregation of schools stopped in the United States by federal enforcement of a series of the Supreme Court decision after Brown versus Board of Education in 1954. All legally informed public segregation was abolished by the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It passed after demonstrations during the civil rights movement resulted in public opinion turning against legally informed segregation.
Woman and man up, they say stay down, and we stand up. Shots be on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, glory. Oh.